Just going to kind of hit some high points of fiscal policy. It's not going to be long because what I want to do is I want to get through a little bit of fiscal policy today so we can get through a little bit of most of 22 on Wednesday as well. So that way the following Monday can be used as question and answer period. So we're going to move a little quicker than I like. Since I have 9 minutes, I'm going to try to use the entire 50 minutes that I have. So let's talk about fiscal policy. Okay, I'm going to skip the beginning slide. We talked about that already. We talked about this one already. All right, so in fiscal policy, right, G and T, right? So we have expansionary, increase G, decrease T, and we have contractionary, decrease G, increase T. So we have fiscal policy. We know what fiscal policy is. It's very simple. G and T. With fiscal policy, or anytime I change G, I, or C, what we can find, or what sometimes we speculate, is there's something called a multiplicative effect or a multiplier effect. Just like we had a multiplier effect in money, we believe there might be a multiplier effect in the government. So when the government buys trucks, so the government decides it wants to buy 2 billion military trucks from Oshkosh. What is the effect of this purchase on aggregate demand? So the simple thing, increase 2 billion, G increases 2 billion, aggregate demand increases 2 billion. Perfect, that's exactly right. However, this $2 billion that the government pays Oshkosh for the trucks, well, Oshkosh got to do something with its cash. It could do a couple of things. It could pay its workers. It could pay its owners. And when it pays its workers more money, because it now has more money itself, it had to build these trucks. These workers go out and they buy more goods with this extra income. So what happens is I buy trucks from Oshkosh. Oshkosh pays its workers. Its workers go out and buy pies from the bakery. The baker has more money. He goes out and he buys a new car. The car dealership has more money, and it goes on and on. So we call this the multiplier effect, is that when I give extra income, it can increase aggregate demand by more than the original decision. So the multiplier effect, at least with government spending, says if the government increases spending by 2 billion, the change to aggregate demand will be more than 2 billion. So here's kind of the graphical explanation. We just kept prices the same. It moves here to here to here till AD final. So when do I know if it's AD final? Well, that depends. And what it depends upon is how do consumers respond to increases in income? Not just income, but how much do they respond when I increase their income? How do we find this? Well, we find this by something we call the marginal propensity to consume. So the marginal propensity to consume is we calculate it by looking at the change in consumption over the change in income. So if I get more money, what fraction of that do I consume and what fraction of that do I save? So if I give you an extra $100 and you spend 80 of that, we would say the marginal propensity to consume is 0.8. So now here, for all of those who like math, I show you how we find the spending multiplier. There's the proof. Most of you don't care, and that's okay. I don't ask the proof on the test, but some people like proofs and like to see how we came up with the MPC, and now we have it. So the government spending multiplier is simply 1 over 1 minus MPC. So if the MPC is 8/10, I put that in, that means my government spending multiplier is 5. So if we go back to our original equation, government increases spending by 2 billion, aggregate demand would change by 10 billion because there's a multiplier of 5. 2 times 5 gives us 10. So let's do a couple of these really quickly. And let's look at MPC and a simple multiplier, and let's calculate it. So MPC is 5/10. Multiplier is 2. MPC is 75/100. Multiplier is 4. MPC is 9/10. Multiplier is 10. So as the MPC increases, so does the multiplier. Exactly what I had there, right? As the MPC gets bigger, so does the multiplier. So bigger MPC means bigger changes in Y cause bigger changes in C, which we end up with bigger changes in Y. So just kind of the idea behind the multiplier is each dollar increase in G can generate more in aggregate demand than the original effect. This is also true for consumption, investments, and net exports as well as G. So all the variables can have this multiplier effect. We're going to see C through taxation. I, it's sometimes referred to as the investment accelerator. We don't really have a fancy term. We're going to talk about net exports, but it could happen there as well. All right, my time is up, so I'm going to leave you where we're at. On Wednesday, we're going to finish up